going on, guys? It's Justin from the J Media back with another video. Today we are back with another install video, and we will be installing an interior mod on my daily driver, my Lexus RCF. What I have in here is an interior mod, and I've been waiting quite a while to do this. Shout out to my wife for actually getting this for my birthday present. So what this is a new head unit. And the Lexus head unit is a little bit outdated, has a trackpad but doesn't have Android Auto or Apple Carplay in my 2017. So we're going to go ahead and install wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So first things first, let's check out what we have here in this box. So we have a plastic trim remover, very handy. We have a bunch of wiring. Okay, harnesses. Everything is plug and play, so what that means is no splicing of wires. Rear view camera wire. This is plastic trim. I'll show you guys what this is later. And most importantly, the head unit. So this screen itself is also bigger than the OEM unit. So this is what we have right now. I believe this is about a 7-inch screen. This right here is about a 10-inch screen that's going to replace it right here. Just took it off the wrapping, so here it is. It says IS, but should fit the RC and the IS. And it's going to replace the screen right here. It's going to look so much more modern. Okay, so screen is up here, but first things first, let me give you an overview of what we'll be doing. So there are some plastic panels right here. We're going to pop that out. Pop this piece out, get this whole center console piece popped off, remove the shift knob. This piece is going to pop off. There's some wiring behind these pieces, and then the screen is going to come out, obviously, to switch to a new screen, but there'll be wiring fed from this screen down to this right here. So hopefully install should go pretty smoothly. Everything's plug and play, so let's get started. So first things first, I'm here on the driver's side. We're going to pop some panels. They provided these plastic trim removal tools. This is really nice. If you don't have these tools, that's fine. You can use a flat tip screwdriver. So plastic panel right here. Just going to stick it in. All you're going to do is just gently pry and pop it out. So it's just a plastic trim. So once you pop that out, you want to pull it towards you. So with some persuasion, came off. Put these plastic pieces aside. Same for the passenger side. You want to use this plastic pry remover tool. Just yank it up and pull towards you. So next, you're going to go ahead and yank this piece off and pull towards you as well. So this piece is out. Same for the passenger side. You know, pull it. Oh, came right off. And then now you're gonna use your screwdriver. So trusty old screwdriver. There should be 2 screws on each side. So where you see it says FC, there's 1 screw right here on the bottom of it, and there's 1 screw right here on the top. Here and here. So both sides, passenger and driver side. Let's go ahead and loosen it. So now that the screws on each side, 2 screws on each side are removed, this piece right here should pop right off. So pops right off like so. Go ahead and put that aside. On the other side. Pop right off as well. So pop right off. Put that aside. Okay. So now that this whole thing is pretty bare bones, we're gonna go ahead and remove the shift knob. So before I do that, I'm gonna actually put it in neutral. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my parking brake on. The reason why you want to put it in neutral is just so you have more space to work with later. So Car's in neutral right now. Shut off the car. I'm gonna go ahead and pop off the shift knob. So you want to push on the shift boot, lefty loosey, get the shift knob off. Shift knob is off. Put that aside. The reason why is because when you have this in park, it's right here. Shift knob's right here. It's kind of hard to get this radio out. So right now we're gonna go ahead and pop this whole piece out. A little bit scary, but we're gonna go ahead and grab the cup holders and just lift it upwards. Okay, and there we have it. I just yanked it like that, and this thing pretty much just right now is kind of loose. You want both sides. I have this side loose, but I also need driver's side loose. So what I realized is this side's loose, but the driver's side is a little tight because there's one more Phillips screw hiding right here. So you're gonna go ahead and find that Phillips screw and go ahead and unscrew it. So now that screw is out, there we go. Shift console comes right out. So there's some plugs here, you don't really have to unplug it, but you can just put it aside. Next, what we're going to do is there are 1, 2, 3, and 4 10mm bolts, and this piece should come right off. So all 4 10mm bolts are out, so you should be able to yank this piece right out. That's pretty much holding this bracket in place. So I pretty much yanked this thing out. You want to press right here, just both sides with both hands, and slowly yank it out. So we have this whole thing out right now. It's pretty heavy. What I'm going to do is get it out and disconnect the wires back there. Okay, so with these clips, what you're going to do is you can just press these little clips, pops right out. So just press and pull, pops right out. Pretty easy. So we're going to go ahead and do that for everything and plug all the wires. Okay, so everything comes off pretty easily. Just press, comes right off. If this is your first time seeing this big thing, just like me, it doesn't just pop off. So there's this gray thing. You want to kind of put your finger underneath. There's a little, almost like a spring on this side, like a little, you just push in it. And now you see it's kind of like lifting. So you want to go ahead and do that. Lift this up. Now that this lifts up, it should be able to come right out. There we have it. It comes right off. Now that everything's been unplugged, we're going to put this big boy aside for now. We're going to reuse it, but these wiring, we do have some new wiring. So now that we got this out the way, we're going to go ahead and remove the stock head unit. Alright, so let's look up here. So there's actually this plastic panel right here. You can see where this line is, this piece. You want to go ahead and use your plastic trim remover piece to kind of pry. So you can see that it's kind of coming off. Okay. So you want to lift it from this side. So gently remove it. You can see there's a little groove right here, so make sure not to break it. We're going to put that aside because we also do have a new one provided. But now, once you have that piece removed, you see we have 2 10mm bolts, so let's go ahead and unscrew it. Alright, so now that you have those 2 10mm bolts, this should be able to come off. So you want to yank it gently like so. Comes right off. And we have more wires to unplug, so let's go ahead and unplug them. Alright, and here it is, the OEM 7-inch screen. So the screen itself is the same size. Well, I should say this whole big screen itself is the same size, but the LED screen is only 7 inches. So flip it around. You see all these little clips, these blue clips. We're gonna remove them because we'll be transferring these clips over to the new head unit. So with these blue plastic pieces, these plastic clips, I just used the trim remover, or you can use a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, and just pretty much yank it out. Takes a little bit of persuasion, but you just slowly work at it and it will come right out. Okay, so all 4 plastic clips are off. We're gonna go ahead and transfer it over to the new screen. So let's take a look at all the cables we have. So there's this big wiring harness. This one looks like the one that we removed over here earlier. There's the other end and a bunch of wires. This one right here that says rear view camera cable. I should connect the yellow to yellow camera to camera R, reverse. We have a few other stuff in here. We have the USB cable. That's for wired CarPlay. We have this, which is the GPS. Sorry, this is the GPS, and then we have this one, which is the Wi-Fi. You also have your microphone. Yeah, that's about it. So right now, I'm not going to connect the microphone, Wi-Fi, or GPS yet. I'm going to leave it in here. What we're going to do is we're going to feed these wires, because essentially some head units, the screen and the brain of it all together. This one, you have the brain right here and the screen up here. So we're going to feed wires. I'm going to feed these fat wires through the bottom up to the top right, and then we're going to feed some other wires to the top left. So after quite a lot of finagling down here, we just have these 2 big pieces down here. Fed everything all up to this right side on the top, so everything's been fed through the top. Right now we also have other cables. We're going to feed it to the left. Okay, so right now we're going to connect some of the stuff together. So this one right here that says camera, we have it connected to camera R, the 2 yellow cables. Right now this white harness is going to connect to the black OEM harness up here, so these 2 will connect. Just like that, both are connected. And what we're just trying to do is pretty much just find all the stuff that connects together. So right here you have mic, MIC. Gonna get the microphone from in here and connect it over to the MIC. So just like that, this connects to the MIC wire. We're just gonna go ahead and connect it. Alright. I know right now it looks like a hot wiring mess, but we're just trying to get everything connected first. These 2, that's the GPS, that's the Wi-Fi. They're going to connect on the back of the new hit unit. It says GPS 4G. So let's go ahead and connect them. And last cable I fed up was the USB cables for Android Auto, Apple CarPlay if you want it wired. So I fed it through the left side this time. A little bit tighter. Right side we fed the big cables. Left side for the 2 USB cables. So now you see you have all these cables just dangling, hanging out here. Reason is because all that will connect to the new head unit right up here. So now it's pretty easy. We'll just connect all these onto the head unit. So they're all different sizes. So big one obviously connects to the big port, and then small ones. And then we also have this blue one, which is one of the OEM plugs that goes into this light blue spot right here. So right now we have everything all connected to the back of the new head unit. So make sure everything's nice and stuck. You should hear a little clip when you put it in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna tuck everything back nicely. So there's 3 white clips, 1, 2, 3, and then this is blue clip, which is the OEM clip, and then you have your GPS and your Wi-Fi. So that's all connected. I'm gonna leave the microphone out. I'm gonna leave the GPS and Wi-Fi out while I tuck everything back in its slot. So now that the top part is pretty much done, I haven't put it back in place yet, but I want to plug everything into this just so we can start it out, make sure it works. You have this guy. This is the OEM harness, and we have this off-the-market harness where it's almost like 2 heads. You have this one that looks the same and this other head. So you're gonna go ahead and connect these 2 together, and then this one will plug into the radio. With so many harnesses, some new, some old, so all we're gonna do is plug all these harnesses back in their respective spots here. Alright, so finally got everything all plugged in. So everything went in pretty easily except for this harness. This harness on the back was pretty tight, but we got it in. So everything's in place right now. Let's go ahead and tuck it in here. And before we put all the plastic panels in place, start it up, make sure everything works. So I have it stepped in place. Moment of truth. Let's go ahead and start it up. First, power on. Okay, so that boots right up. That's very good. Right now, let's go ahead and connect our phone, make sure everything works. Just connected my phone's Bluetooth. Right now, let's see if Android Auto works. I'm pretty excited. It says connecting. And this is wireless. I don't have my phone plugged in, so we'll see. Bam! We have Google Maps working. And we also have our Spotify. Let's make sure the music's working. That's important. Alright, so everything works. So what actually happened is I installed everything and then I realized I have no audio. So one thing I didn't show is there's an auxiliary cable. You do have to run the aux cable all the way and connect it over here in the center console armrest. Right here, this is the aux cable that you have. You want to make sure to connect that over here, otherwise there'll be no audio. So I tried looking up everywhere on the internet. I just thought there's an extra wire dangling, but finally found the answer. So I run the aux cable underneath the center console all the way over here. So now audio works. Alright, so let's go ahead and show you guys the power up. Put it on. And it takes a few seconds to boot up. I got to use my new radio on the way driving home. I was able to connect my music, play it on Android Auto. I was able to pretty much respond to text messages by just talking to it. So I already do have my Bluetooth connected. So it connects to actually two devices. It connects to both the OEM radio setup as well as the Android Auto setup. So it shows connected to the Lexus RC, and it's also going to connect to this Android Auto, which is this LX. Alright, music please. So there it is. We have your music, Spotify, that plays. So if you guys are wondering, sound quality sounds just like OEM, so that's good. I do have the Mark Levinson radio system. Like I said, the map works, everything looks good. And then if you wanna, it's pretty much a tablet. If your Messenger, Google Maps, if you want like to use Waze, you can download that instead. If you want to get out of this, just click exit. You have your Bluetooth. You have your music. This is whatever it's, I guess, downloaded on the system. You have a little video. And then one very, very important thing is for your music to work, besides connecting your auxiliary cable, you want to go back to the OEM setup right here. So click on My Car. This brings you right back to the OEM navigation. I'm going to go over here on the trackpad. So trackpad works too if you're wondering. Click on Menu. Now that I'm menu, I'm going to control everything using my fingers on the trackpad. So we're going to go to Media. This is the OEM interface. You want to make sure it's in auxiliary, AUX. If it's not here on aux, it's not going to work. So that's why I was having audio issues. So make sure that's that. This looks just like your OEM setup. So if you want to go back to your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, you can just click back here. Bam, we're back. Just click CarPlay, connects right away. So overall, I'm very happy, very satisfied with the Android Auto Apple CarPlay upgrade. From the OEM, about 6-7 inch screen, we now have a 10.25 inch screen. If you guys are wondering where I got it from, I actually got this off AliExpress. There are a lot of sellers online. You know, some of the famous ones are like Lexus. They sell this head unit for about $1,000, but I was able to pick this up on AliExpress, and shipping was super quick. If you guys are wondering exact store, let me look it up for you. You can find it there. They do sell a few different variations. I got it pretty much with the best specs that you can get on there. So let's look up my order. So we have it from the store on AliExpress called Nuno, N-U-N-O-O. So Nuno, this is an Android 14 wireless Apple CarPlay. Works with both an iPhone for Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto. Specs wise, I got the highest specs I could find, which is 8 gig ROM as well as 128 gig RAM. So fast processor, big storage space. If you want to buy a little bit cheaper, you can find a smaller storage space like a 32 gig RAM or even a 64 gig RAM. I got the 128 and an 8 gig ROM, so a lot faster, a lot more storage space. For the price, taxes and everything, I paid about $611, or should I say my wife paid for it. She got it for my early birthday present. So about $600 US, shipped to your doorstep. Came from China, straight from the factory. Shipping time took less than a week, which is super quick. So again, 8 gig RAM, 8 gig ROM, 128 gig RAM with Android 14, about $600 from AliExpress, hard to beat. Everything that I want in a head unit, nice and sleek, modern design, definitely makes it more modern. We have your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You have, you know, there's a split screen. You can switch over to the Google Maps. I use Google Maps a lot. So yeah, you can do your navigation, have your music, everything works. If a text message comes in, you can also respond to it. So I have my little microphone right here. You can just click play, and then what it does is kind of like Siri. It'll just read out the message to you, and you can just say respond and respond back to it. So very user friendly. Really happy with it. I'll probably do maybe like a review video maybe in 6 months, in a year or so. They do offer a 2-year warranty. So all in all, I'm happy with the design, how it looks. I'm happy with the specs, how it works. So hope you guys like it. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you guys in the next video.